Hello, I'm Jared Taylor with American Renaissance. The internet's trying to make my videos impossible to find. So if you like this one, I hope you'll send the link to a lot of your friends. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, the Democrats are the real racists. It's even got a snazzy abbreviation, DR3. Democrats are real racists. A lot of Republicans seem to think that this is the knockout blow against Democrats who call Republicans racists. The guy who seems to have made the most money out of this line is the writer and movie maker Dinesh D'Souza. In 2016, he talked to the Daily Caller about a movie he had just made called Hillary's America, starring Dinesh D'Souza. The promo copy explains that this eye-opening film sheds light on the Democrats' transition from pro-slavery to pro-enslavement. In the interview, Mr. D'Souza explained, "So if you were to tell the ordinary black guy, hey, listen, which is the party of slavery? The Democrats. Which is the party of segregation? The Democrats. Which is the party of the Ku Klux Klan? The Democrats. Which is the party of lynching? The Democrats." Most people don't know that. And so it is eye-opening for them, and it makes them begin to rethink their assumption. So that's what we're trying to do with this film. Did Mr. D'Souza really think he was going to make blacks stop supporting Hillary Clinton by telling them that Jefferson Davis and Nathan Bedford Forrest were Democrats? That blacks would wise up and vote for Donald Trump once he told them Bull Connor, who had black demonstrators fire-hosed 70 years ago, was a Democrat? He must think blacks are idiots. Sebastian Gorka worked for Donald Trump in the White House and is not known for being stupid, but he pushes the same foolishness. The disturbing history of racism in the Democratic Party. He jabbers about slavery and then throws some real haymakers. So racist were the Democrats that during the Wilson administration, the incredibly racist film Birth of a Nation was screened at the White House in 1915. He adds triumphantly that Frederick Douglass, who died 127 years ago, and Booker T. Washington, who died 107 years ago, were Republicans. Does he really think this proves Charles Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are racists? Mr. D'Souza and Mr. Gorka love to tell you that the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, was the great emancipator, practically a demigod compared to those Democrat slave-owning Confederates. Lincoln didn't like slavery, but he didn't like blacks either. Once they were free, he wanted them gone. In 1862, when you'd think he was busy fighting a war, he was worrying about how to get rid of black people. He appointed James Mitchell as United States Commissioner of Immigration of Negroes to find a place far away where all blacks would go. Mitchell invited a delegation of blacks to the White House so Lincoln could ask them to clear out. This was the first time blacks had set foot in the White House on official business and not as servants, slaves, or workmen. Lincoln got right to the point. You and we are different races. We have between us a broader difference than exists between almost any other two races. This physical difference is a great disadvantage to us both, as I think your race suffer very greatly, many of them, by living among us, while ours suffer from your presence. In a word, we suffer on each side. If this is admitted, it affords a reason at least why we should be separated. He told the blacks that it was only because their people were in the country that Yankees and Confederates were slaughtering each other. He told them he'd picked out a nice place for them in Central America and asked them to convince all other blacks to pack up and go there. But somehow it's today's Democrats, not Lincoln in 1862, who are the real racists. Sebastian Gorka ends with this clincher. Candace Owens and Kanye West are correct. The Democrats are still the real racists. Well, that just does it. Makes me want to buy an America First t-shirt with Sebastian Gorka's name on it. The fact is, until maybe the 1950s or 60s, just about everyone in America was hopelessly racist by today's standards. It makes no sense to single out the Democrats. After Reconstruction, the Democrats were the party that governed in the South, and that's the only reason why all the famous Southern segregationists were Democrats. George Wallace, Lester Maddox, Theodore Bilbo, Ben Tillman. Strom Thurmond first went to the Senate as a segregationist Democrat, but switched to Republican in 1964. At the time, the New York Times said this: Senator Thurmond's appeal is confined to the die-hard white supremacists. The Republican Party in the South is now being built as a lily-white party. Just about every conservative Southern white left the Democrats for the same reason. But some Republicans talk as if Bull Connor were running the Democrat Party. Here's Newt Gingrich in Newsweek telling us that Democrats are the real racists and minority Americans are taking note. Really? I don't see any members of the Black Congressional Caucus, all Democrats, of course, defecting to the Republicans. I guess Ayanna Pressley and Maxine Waters just love caucusing with racists. The American Mind is a site that sometimes gets things right. Not this article on the institutional racism of the Democratic Party, which claims it's the most persistent hate group in human history. How's this for a true knockout punch? There is systemic racism in America. Democrats run that system in partnership with their high-tech crypto-Klan media apparatus. Well, whatever you think of MSNBC, crypto-Klan doesn't seem quite right to me. One of the deep thinkers at Town Hall explains that actually everything the Democrats do is racist. This lady really pushes back the frontiers of knowledge. Promoting abortion is racist. That's because blacks are more likely to want abortions, so letting them end a pregnancy is racist because that means fewer black babies. At the same time, giving blacks welfare is racist because it makes it easy for single black women to have babies. That means more black babies, but it's racist because it means more fatherlessness. Whooping up LGBT grievances is racist because it minimizes the horrors of slavery. Letting men compete in women's sports is racist because black lady athletes are better than white lady athletes. Yes, this genius actually says this. She is saying that unless you examine every possible law or policy in terms of what's in it for blacks, you're a racist. That's exactly the same thinking behind wanting to get rid of the SAT test, or traffic stops, or library fines, or bicycle helmet laws, or arrests for fare beating, or vagrancy laws, because blacks can't follow the rules. She's saying blacks are the only people in America who matter, just the way Democrats do. It's even worse. It doesn't seem to have dawned on these boneheads that they have swallowed the very anti-white nonsense they think they are battling. These so-called conservatives think they have found a way to fight back at Democrats who say it's racist to seal the border or ban critical race theory in schools. In fact, they have fully accepted the idea that if you can call a policy or an idea racist, you've landed a killer blow. American politics becomes a name-calling contest, and the side that shouts racist the loudest wins. That means the only thing that counts in American politics is what's good for blacks. These people have surrendered without a fight. They have made it impossible to defend what really matters. Once you think your side wins by calling the other side racist, how do you begin even to think about the biological reality of race? Race differences in IQ, the great replacement, the colossal failures of multiracial America, the right of whites to survive as a distinct people, and how to ensure their survival. A couple of weeks ago, I had a long talk with a remarkable person, an honest journalist, who has been writing about American Renaissance for more than 15 years. He brought up Democrats are the real racists, and he wanted to know how anyone could fall for that. It's an argument for morons, he said. He's right. Dangerous morons. Sometimes even journalists get things right. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this video channel. Also, maybe you could give this video a thumbs up. I invite you to visit amren.com, amren.com, where you will find videos, podcasts, discussions, I think many things that will interest you. But again, thank you so much for watching.